Welcome to another episode of the Scotty Russell podcast. You got this. Today we have a very, very special guest. We have Mr. Fit for 50, aka Lee, aka The Wall, and I like to call him sometimes Captain Phillips. Hello.
Hello, how's it going?
All good, all good. So, what we do with any guest that's on, we always go right to the start. So, Lee, I want you to tell us about where you grew up, what you done as a bit of a kid, how you get into basketball, and just a little bit about yourself so everybody knows who you are, who doesn't know who you are.
Okay, hi, I'm Lee. I'm The Wall. Born and raised in Ayrshire, the good one, South Ayrshire. Lived in Troon for 30 odd years before moving up to the Big Smoke, where buildings were over 2 stories high, which was a bit strange for us, and there was lots of cars. Grew up I had no real interest in basketball until I went to high school. I was building dens and climbing trees and stuff like that, and playing golf, because that's what you do when you live in Troon. And then I went to high school. First year, my school was Mark College, very much a rugby school, rugby and hockey, and then non-rugby and hockey. That was your options.
Did you have a go at rugby?
I did rugby for a year. I played second row, did okay. I was in the A team, and when you were in first year, you had to sing the 18th tune every time you get picked for that. But I didn't like the atmosphere around, the kind of jock atmosphere that was surrounded the rugby team. And Troon's quite a snobby town, and there was a lot of kind of, if you came from this area, you were getting a bit of bullying and all that kind of stuff. I didn't appreciate that, and we did basketball at PE, and I kind of liked it. So at the time, one of the business studies teacher was starting up a basketball team, and I went along and got the bug for it, and that was the start of it.
That's impressive. And who was that business studies teacher?
Our business studies teacher was Tom Campbell.
Legendary Tommy Campbell, legendary in the old Scottish basketball. Alright, so you played in high school, and then how did it progress?
So high school, it started off just one team. We just kept growing with that, but then as the years grew on, there was more players getting interested. We decided, like Tommy and a couple others decided, why not form a basketball club? Troon didn't have a basketball club. The nearest one was Ayr or Irvine or Kilwinning. There wasn't anything nearby, so I was one of the founding members of Troon Basketball Club, as it was.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but Troon Basketball Club never played their games in Troon?
No, they did. It was all at Mark College until National League, and it got bigger.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I've never played Troon in Troon, I've only ever played them in Ayr.
Well, to be honest, you haven't missed much, because there was about this much space, which for guys that's 6 inches. There's about this much space at the baseline and the sidelines. So Mark College wasn't optimal it wasn't deemed suitable for National League.
Quite right. Health and safety first.
Always.
So you've had National League experience, you've played obviously for a lot of years. Name some of the teams that you've played for.
How long have we got? I'm a bit of a journeyman now. So started off Troon Tornadoes. Then I moved, once we beat Glasgow Storm in the Cup, which they hated, which was brilliant. I actually went and joined them and spent a good few years playing Strathclyde League with these guys. And then I made the jump. I made the jump to Glasgow because I'd moved to Glasgow by this point. I was living and working in Glasgow. And I'd kind of lost a bit of the love for the Troon scene, to be honest. So I then went to Glasgow Storm. I took a year out of playing basketball in competitive level, and we basically just played a year of pickup basketball at the Nicholson Centre, and then I joined Colliers. I probably was at Colliers at the same time as you, but I was Strathclyde League, whereas you were obviously playing with the National League team. And then I left them, went to Ayr Masters for a year, And then,
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that. I did not realise you were an Air Master.
Well, it was a Div 4 team. It was basically some of the guys that weren't good enough for, like they were playing Div 1 in National League, and there were some guys that were just coming back into basketball, but my season was cut short because guys were getting injured. There was no commitment for games, and they basically withdrew the team from the league, which I found out when somebody else messaged me, which was nice to say, oh, pity you've left the league. I said, have we? And then I went back into limbo. Did I go back to Colliers, or Bob Brown from Paisley was messaging me throughout the summer going, what are you doing? And like that whole nicey approach on maybe joining Paisley. He's been trying to do this for a number of years, and I've always been happy where I was. But that summer was a summer of indecision, and so I was like, I don't know, did I go back to Colliers? And then I got a text message one night, and this person remained nameless, saying, are you coming to play for Paisley, or are you going to be a little bitch? And I just replied with, see you Thursday. And I've been at Paisley ever since. Sometimes
you've got to give them the push. Obviously, in your basketball career, this will be the last little bit we talk about basketball, then we'll move on from it. But obviously, you're part of the GB Maxis stuff.
Yep.
And from my point of view, the last couple of years, I've seen you grow as a basketball player and a person with what you've done. Like all the guys in Maxis will back me up in this, and they've said it to you, like, they love having you around. I know you've had a bit of disappointment with not making all the teams. You've made some of the teams and not made all the teams, such as basketball. But I think the fact that every single one of the guys has always been like, oh, we wish you were here, we miss you miss your bants, you miss what you bring to the table. Like, overall, not just as a basketball player. Talk about your GB basketball experience, and do you see it yourself that you've grown as a player in the last 2-3 years compared to what you were?
So straight off the bat, yes. I think I've been playing the best basketball I've ever played in the last 2 years. It's 2 years this month since I started with the GB programme.
Agreed.
And I think I'm going to give you some credit here as well with the help and the push that you give me to actually believe in myself. So we've done a lot of one-on-one stuff. We've done skills sessions, and I think I gave up and didn't believe in myself a lot because of previous coaching styles where you make a mistake and you're off.
And also not being coached, that's one of the big things that people don't get here. It's just you turn up to training and you play basketball, you don't actually get coached. So if you don't get coached, you can't learn. So that's a big thing that I've noticed. Like, no disrespect, you didn't know a lot of things because you'd never been taught them.
No, absolutely.
But yeah, sorry to interrupt.
No, it's true. And I think what happens as well, and especially maybe at school level, you get instantly pigeonholed. Or at that time, I was one of the tallest in the year, so you'll be a centre. So for that, my whole career, I've played in the centre position. I've never played outside. I never really worked on shooting from distance. And what happens is at 6'4", which is tall back then, going up against a 7-footer or even a 6'9" guy, it's a very different situation. So I didn't have that skill set or confidence. And then you go down to GB Maxi and you've got guys from all over the UK, different heights, different abilities, different playing careers. And it's a case of forgetting what their careers was and playing against them now. I grew a lot of confidence playing against really good guys, learning. Scotty gave me loads of one-on-one coaching, which really helped because I started to do moves that I'd never done before, like left-hand layups, for example.
It's a true story.
True story. But even just the confidence to take those shots and actually developing a space in the court that's where I would shoot from. Taking my time and slowing things down. I'm still working on that, still work in progress, but I used to just try and overthink things, and now I think that coaching in the last 2 years, both with you and with the GB Maxi, because it's an elite performance thing. I never thought for 1 minute, and I joked with Stuart Mackay years ago, and he said, come along, and I thought, me playing at GB, I'm not a pro, I've never played pro, the highest level I played was National League 20 years ago. I never believed in myself, I've got more belief in myself now.
Alright, so you've been to Murcia, which was your first one,
Yep.
and you've been to Santander. So throughout everything, I want your favourite on-court experience that you've had with them, and your favourite off-court experience that you've had with them.
On court, easily last year's Santander. This year's was a bit of a washout because I was injured. So I played 2 minutes in the whole tournament. Last year, I think I played my best basketball and hitting a three, 100% for the tournament, highest.
Best 3-point shooter?
Best 3-point shooter. Some would argue that there's others, for example, Paul Jessup, who shoots loads, good guy, shoots loads, hits loads, but he wasn't 100%. I was. So I think that was the highlight, and I think having that the team morale there was excellent.
I think you had a good team that year and good camaraderie. You all seemed to have a good laugh with each other and get on with each other, which was nice to see. Alright, favourite off-court moment?
I'm trying to decide whether or not it was how drunk I got in Murcia and pinballed my way into the room at stupid o'clock.
I witnessed this because I was his roomie and I was in bed sleeping, and the big man stumbled in about half 3, 4, bounced off the walls, straight into bed, farted, and then out like a light.
And I think I missed about 100 calls from Scotty because I didn't even hear him leave the room in the morning to say we're going to watch the men, and because one of the teams was in a final and I'd missed the semi-final.
So is that your favourite moment off court, do you think?
I think that one's kind of jumps to mind. This year, although I was injured, I did enjoy the sea dips with you guys. I enjoyed that, and I think getting to spend time with your dad outside of, like, I see your dad at the lock dips and the gyms and stuff. I hear it was good just to see him sleep.
Yeah, he did. To be fair, apart from sleeping, he did have a really good time in Santander, which was awesome. Alright, jumping about a little bit, but obviously now you are Scotland's leading wedding videographer, but not solely do weddings. You do commercials, corporate, but you are a wedding videographer extraordinaire. But back in the day, you owned a paper shop, corner shop.
I did.
And it was called
Scott Ball News.
Which also tied in with the Pro Board's website, forum page that you had. But talk to us a little bit about owning a corner shop, because I still to this day find it really amusing that you had a corner shop.
Do you know something? It was a lot of fun. I was working in Glasgow and I got a message from my wife, Angela, saying, look what's up for sale. And it was a shop that we used to go to at lunchtime from school and get sweets and crisps and junk food and stuff like that. But so we went and visited it, and we put an offer in. We wrote a business plan. It got accepted the second time round from a different bank, and we bought it. We renovated it. We stripped it right back to its bare brick walls, and because when we moved in, or when we went in the first time, the owners were like that. Yeah, it's been recently decorated, and we just looked and went, this will not do. So we ripped it right back, rebuilt it, spent months getting it up and running, and I became the white Navid, and it was a very, very enjoyable time. We had a full-time chef that did hot and cold food for us. We did a whole range. We did the newspapers. We did everything.
Quite successful?
Yeah.
Very successful?
Yeah.
Good. I just find that really amusing, especially because now you are this big videographer guy and do all your drone stuff and everything. It's quite a jump from one to the other.
Oh, massively, yeah.
Which is hilarious, but I just thought I'd get that in. If you didn't know, the man had a corner shop in Troon, which is amazing. Right, so we'll jump to obviously being a videographer now and doing all the stuff that you do. We'll attach all the socials and stuff so you can hire this man, because he is very, very good at what he does. But obviously you do weddings, which is your bread and butter.
Uh-huh.
But you also do a lot of like commercials and ads for things and stuff like that. So what made you get into the wedding stuff, but then what's that process like of like being creative with making videos and stuff like that, because it is an extreme from one to the other, if you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, for the wedding stuff, me and my friend Martin, who we started working at Dell together at the same time, very good friends. He filmed his sister's wedding, and then he was getting married. He asked me to film his, and we started off just with cobbling and borrowing cameras and stuff to get started. And after doing his, we did sit down together and decided we actually really enjoyed doing this. Do we want to do more of it? And over the years, we just started doing small weddings, really like finding your feet and slowly building up the kit. To then, I get made redundant from Dell, bought a more expensive camera, started to do more. I was contracting at the time, so fitting in a full-time job, Monday to Friday, then editing at night, filming at the weekends, was taking up a lot of my time. I then made the leap to go full-time with that. Weddings can be very seasonal, and they are very much, you film everything and then pick the best bits out. And it can be a lot more stressful because you can't get somebody to, it's live, you can't get somebody to basically do that kiss again or say your vows again, or can you walk back up the aisle a different way. It's just like you have to get that shot. So that's why we use more than one camera. But one mistake, for example, if audio is not recording, audio is recording, you've got to make sure the cameras are recording. So I'm looking at this camera here, making sure that that light's still flashing. I'm hoping that this one's working, and I know that the mics are working because I checked them. But these are the kind of things that go through your head like throughout the ceremony, and it's quite stressful. The flip side of that, the commercial work, so we did a shoot, Roxy and I did a shoot. Scotty was just a second part, she was the lead.
You can't see it, but Roxy's literally at my feet right now, sleeping, just enjoying life.
Being a Doug. We're showcasing a product for somebody else, and again, the link will be in the show notes. That basically you can shoot that. I know what the customer wants. You sit down and say, right, you find out what their idea is, and then you shoot 2 or 3 versions of the same shot. So you have less blocks to work with, less jigsaw pieces to then make that clip. So it's a lot less stressful. And there was a time where we wanted the dog to run past the camera, and she stopped. So it's okay, we'll do it again. And she was it was very warm as well. So we had to take that into consideration, like how many takes do we need for this one shot? So we're shooting it portrait and landscape for the different social medias. You don't have that option in a wedding film.
Right.
It's all landscape. So you have to think differently, and you already have the edit in mind for a commercial one, whereas you have no idea about a wedding one.
But yeah, very, very, very creative with some of the stuff that all the stuff that he does, which is pretty cool. It's good to have somebody doing that because it helps me when I'm trying to be somewhat creative with the stuff that I make. Right, so Mr. Fit for 50, the big man is trying to get in the fittest possible shape he has for his 50th birthday, which is when?
Next June the 23rd. Put that in the diaries, folk.
And he does have a goal of making back to basketball, a goal of making the GB Maxi over 50s team for the World Championships in Switzerland. So that's one of the reasons why he's doing this. Obviously known Lee for a long time, but a long time he was doing Weight Watchers, and he was believing a lot of the myths and falling into the traps which a lot of people fall into. So you obviously done Weight Watchers, you thought carbs were bad, didn't really strength train too much. Obviously you've came here, you've stuck to it, you've got stronger, you've grown leaps and bounds, you understand a bit more about nutrition, a bit more about your body, a bit more about what you can do in pushing and stuff like that. And that brings us on to what he's doing now, is getting fit for 50, and he's also started his own podcast which you can go and check out. But we were talking about this other day, and he had a few messages from people saying, don't be hard on yourself, don't put too much pressure on yourself. And what I said to him was, no. I was like, be hard on yourself, put pressure on yourself, be anal about it, be consistent, be dedicated to get the result that you want. And I think too many people, when they're trying to lose weight or they're trying to achieve a goal, they'll allow themselves to slack, they'll allow themselves to, bend the rules a little bit, and that's why so many people fail. And yeah, so I just wanted to get your take on, like, when people say that to you, like, it's alright, you can skip out here or skip out there, or don't be so hard on yourself. Like, obviously I do a lot of mindset stuff with everybody, not just you, but it's about being, if you want to achieve something, you've got to be quite driven and direct to it. And no disrespect as well, but a lot of the people that were telling them to don't be hard on yourself and, give yourself a break are not in the best physical shape and could do with being a little bit more driven. So just speak to me about your goal is for Switzerland as well, but also to be fitter and healthier and show an example to your kids. But like, what your mindset is when it's coming to achieving your goals, because you're down over a stone in
12 pounds at the moment,
just under a stone in 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Now we will be honest, a lot of that is water weight, because he was on holiday, he was drinking and eating, which is what he was supposed to do on holiday, go away, have a good time.
Lots.
And then when he came back, it was getting stuck into it, and he's got a goal now. But yeah, how do you feel when, like, people are like, and sometimes it can be your family, like sliding wee bits of chocolate or like have the night off or that, but also people that you class as friends, like trying to get you to not fail, but trying to get you to not be as driven, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think the issue, because I read this and I think, am I being too hard on myself? And then the more I think about it is, no, I need to be hard on myself, because and going back to the kind of whole Weight Watcher stuff, over the years I've been 16 stone, 19 stone, 16 stone, 20 stone, 16 stone, 21 stone. And this last year I was down to 17 stone, and then I started being less tough on myself. There was a lot of things in my mind that I was just, it doesn't matter, it's just one beer, it's one this, I'll just have that. And I stopped being hard on myself, and now I'm 2 stone heavier than I wanted to be. I wasn't fit enough for this year's European Championships, which is one reason why, there was other reasons, but one reason why I wouldn't have been selected was because I wasn't fit. But I didn't care, because I took my foot off the gas. And this is the thing that I know, that I need to have my foot on the gas all the time. If I want to be fit for 50, I can't stop and just take a night off, because one night becomes 2, becomes 3, becomes 4, and all of a sudden the 12 pounds I've lost becomes a +3 gain, and I'm past square one again. And this is the issue I've had in my life, and I need to be tough on myself, and I need to keep shouting at myself in the mirror when I see this with no clothes on, that this isn't acceptable. And I'm fat shaming myself, but it's the only way that I can be more successful.
Yeah, I don't think it's fat shaming, but I think if you look at MD who's successful in anything, they're very driven. And you hear all the time that guys that like make the NBA, all they did was eat, sleep, play basketball. Eat, sleep, play basketball. You hear it all the time. They didn't go to the parties. They didn't do this. They were focused on achieving that goal.
Yeah.
Or if you're in, if you're in sales, like, and you've got to hit a target in your sales target, you don't just get to 5 and then you go, the reason why people are successful is because they push themselves, whereas most people will go, I'm going to have a break now, or I'm going to take this off, or I'm going to do that, or I'm going to do this. So I did say to him when he said a lot of people said that, I was like, no, fuck them, be driven. You've got a goal. Their goal isn't your goal, so you stick to what your goal is and you push yourself. And I'm big in that. I mean, one of the things that gets me hyped is seeing other people be successful, and I genuinely mean that. Like when people like make the basketball team, or when people lose weight, or get a promotion, or do anything that they've said that they want to do and they achieve that. I'm big on that, and a lot of people give up. And something that I heard the other day was, this is a good one. There's 5 frogs on a log. One of them decides to jump off. How many frogs are on the log?
4.
No, 5. It decided to jump off. It never done it. There's deciding to do something, and there's doing something. And I love that, because so many people decide they're going to lose weight. They're going to decide they're going to get fit. They're going to decide they're going to do this. But just because you decide it doesn't mean you do it.
Yeah,
Whereas you're actually doing it, and other people might decide to lose weight, but they never actually get around to it, or they might decide to push themselves. They might decide to do that. But there's a difference between deciding and doing, and you're doing it.
Yeah. Whereas
other people are deciding, and I love that. I love seeing people doing it, and that's why maybe some people say I'm quite hard on people, but if you tell me you want to achieve something, I'm going to push you and push you and push you to get you closer to that goal, or help you achieve it as best as I can. And I think too many people are quite soft. Like if you having a bad weekend and me chewing you out for it, it's because I care, it's because I want you to achieve, and I know that weekend might set you back. But yeah, I think there's too many people that give up. Far too easy. So seeing you stick to it and go for it, and I know you will do it, and I know you'll be in Switzerland, which is going to be awesome. But yeah, like think about when you're trying to do something, and who's trying to, it's kind of sabotage, but who's trying to sabotage you? Think about it. Like when you're trying to lose weight, what are you doing that for? And then when you lose weight, they're like, oh, you look amazing, how did you do it? Or you're trying to lose weight, and they're like, oh, just have a beer. Like, you don't have to have that. It's down to your choice and how driven you are to get your results. So, and I think you will get, I know you'll get your results, because I know when you switch, you become very, very driven about it. But I get it, it's not easy running your own business, working weekends, sometimes your food's the catering at the weddings, also having 2 young kids, having a wife, having to balance family life with work and the gym. It's difficult, it's not easy, but nothing worth having is easy. That's simple in life. Like think about everything you achieve in life, you've got to put work into it. Very rarely do you just get handed things on a plate that work out. So yeah, keep going. Don't let people sabotage you or put you off. And I guarantee you the same people that will tell you, I've been saying to you, don't be hard on yourself, will be like, how did you do it? Or can I get some of that action?
I think the thing as well is the other one that people say that kind of gets to you is, oh, you don't look like you don't need to lose weight. You look fine the way you are. And it's like, it's not what other people think you look like. It's how you feel.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And I personally don't like the way I look, right? And but if I sit and listen to people, and I need that push a lot of the time in my life with things, and maybe it boils down to the confidence thing with the basketball, with certain work. If I'm putting in for a tender for something like that, I'm like, I don't think I'm good enough to do that. And it's having that one voice that supports you. So a lot of the time with my wedding stuff, I'll create a teaser trailer for somebody, and I think it's garbage, and I show it to Angela, and she says, oh, I really like that. Or flip side, she'll say, maybe change that shot there, and it's that extra little bit of advice. When you then put that teaser trailer out and the couple come back and tell you they love it, it boosts your confidence. When you push me, so I say for example, I'm doing agile and I put the weights down, all I hear is, you wouldn't give up in a fast break in a basketball game or something like that. And it's true.
Terrible impression of me, by the way. Terrible impression.
That's because I didn't want to swear. For fuck's sake, Lee, just fucking pick up the weights. You wouldn't right. So I was trying to be PG on that there. But the whole point is, if you don't have that voice pushing you, I have to, and talking like your frogs were a bit, a lot of the time I was talk the talk and I wasn't doing the walk. And that's the super thing is like, and I say it all the time when we talk about how frustrating clients are, and I'm even talking about my own, is like, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And that there, I'm I'm getting shown where the water is, but it's down to me to drink it. Yeah. So yeah, great analogy.
Brilliant, absolutely. Fucking give me a fist bump for that again. Cool. All right, so now we're just going to have some fun. All right, so we've covered Lee's basketball journey throughout. We've covered a few of his jobs, what he does now, what he's up to, doing stuff like that. But now we need to get into actually slagging the big man. Okay, so first of all, talk to us about your shoe game. You've been slagged for your sneaks. Do you care? Are you thinking about upping your shoe game, or I mean, honestly, do you actually care, or is it just a case of it's a bit of fun now?
I think, to be honest, generally I don't tend to care. My shoe game, I don't have the same worry about fashion. This is literally what I wear 99% of the time. I'm wearing black today because it's slimming on camera, because the camera adds those 12 pounds back on. But I care sometimes when people point out for a whole weekend, for example.
Shout out big Mr. Steve Foster.
Aye, Fletcher. But in fairness, it did. The point there was you shouldn't wear your on-court sneaks outdoors. I had one pair with me, and he didn't like them anyway. I like them, and I think sometimes it doesn't matter what other people think about what you wear. If you're happy wearing them, just wear them. Don't get me wrong, I have worn some horrific boots in my day, but I have a nice new pair thanks to Mr. Fletcher. Shout out Steve. But I do like, so I have 2 pairs of Jordans that I wear for work, which might sound weird. I wear a kilt, and I've got 2 pairs of Jordans that I wear to match that, and I pride myself in my Jordan 1s because they match my kilt and they're comfortable for work, and people compliment me on them.
Oh.
Yeah. I might bring out the John Wall red boots for Steve to have a heart attack on, but generally couldn't care what people think.
That's true.
Most of the time.
Yeah, that's good, but it is quite funny. He does get slagged for quite a few things, but that's the whole point of it, is when you've got a group of friends or a group that can all slag each other and have a laugh. I think that's more fun when you can
care,
and you can all rip each other and have a good chat and a good laugh with each other. It's awesome. Obviously, in the gym, you have a few friends that you knew from not being in the gym already. Yeah. Obviously, you have Big Gordy. I actually like it when you and Gordy are together. You're like two wee teenagers. It's absolutely hilarious. She's a great wee comedy. But just on the gym thing, but not working out. Talk to me about like having the wee community of like people that you can laugh and joke with and push each other and shout at each other. Like, what does that mean to you? Like having that. Like you and White Jesus this week, it's just been the two of you working out, so you have been pushing each other. I mean, you are pretty cutthroat and brutal with each other, but it's good from a coach's point of view. I enjoy seeing it, but I think it gets the two of you, it pushes the two of you a little bit more, and you are quite good at the bants backwards and forwards. Yeah, and I think with the banter, there's never anything malicious. There's a cheeky vibes and stuff, or jibes and stuff like that, but I really appreciate it and I really like it, because if you don't have somebody that's there to even poke fun at your technique, like we were doing jumping stuff, and White Jesus is like a really good jumper in comparison to me. I'm not gifted. Apparently the second best jumper in the gym.
Second best jumper. Although I've been beating him a few times this week. I'm the champion. But without that, then it's just, is there any point in them being there or talking? I don't need to know everybody's ins and outs and their lifestyles and stuff like that, but when we come in here, the support that's there, the encouragement, even if it's just like, come on Lee, you can do this, or come on White Jesus, you got this, that there is enough just to get you to push out that final rep that you were struggling with, whatever the thing is. And I think that's super important, and I want to be successful, but at the same time I want them to be successful as well, so you keep pushing each other. And I think that's you don't like to see them fail, so you give them that bit of encouragement. It's majorly important.
Yeah, it's good. It's good fun. It's good fun, especially for me coming to it's my work. So when I see people that didn't know each other becoming friends and laughing and joking with each other, it's a nice thing. All right, quick fires to finish. Okay. Favourite food?
Steak.
How do you like your steak?
Medium rare.
Medium rare. All right. Favourite place to go on holiday?
America.
Favourite food in America?
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. What's your Chick-fil-A order go?
Or basically whatever the deluxe burger one is.
Nice.
With the thingy fries.
Waffle fries?
Waffle fries and extra sauce.
Extra sauce. And holiday calories don't count, so extra.
0 calories.
Extra sauce.
Chick-fil-A.
Right. Favourite film of all time?
Oh God, this is the toughest one. I'm going to just go out there with Goonies.
Goonies? Oh, nice. How do you feel about Goonies 2 coming out so many years after the original?
Well, half the cast are dead, so...
CGI, maybe? CGI?
I don't think it'll be the same. I think it'll be very difficult to recreate what Goonies was. Well, a lot of films have done that.
I know the answer to this one, but favourite basketball player of all time?
Scotty. Charles Barkley.
Favourite basketball team?
Phoenix Suns.
Phoenix Suns.
But in fairness, and the Orlando Magic. Because I've seen the Orlando Magic.
What was his name? Yeah, Charles Barkley's your goal.
That's why I went number 34.
It's outrageous. Alright, most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you in your entire life?
Oh, we don't have enough time to even scratch the surface of that. One time I was at a Kevin Bridges gig in Oddenmore, and the seats were so close together. I ended up sitting in the front row. It was me and Angela, and so just very quickly, in my life I've lived in Troon, Glasgow City Centre and Glasgow East End. You guys remember that? We go down and I have to sit in front, there's no legroom here, and the lights went down and all of a sudden this UV light came on and my white shirt was going ping.
You do like a shirt, don't you?
I love a shirt. Short sleeve, obviously, a bit of a hang times. But not as hairy or ginger. I was like, he's so going to see me and he's going to pick me front row. Sat down, the first half started, and they looked straight at the guys in front of him and where are you from? And one of them went Edinburgh, and I was like, I am safe for the time being. And he just ripped into these guys from being from Edinburgh. And Edinburgh people are human too. Okay, so just to get that clear. We have the interval, we come back, and I was sitting there, I was like, hopefully we'll go back to him. Big man in the white shirt. Glowing purple. What's your name, Lee? Lee from the West End. Where did I say it was from? Where did I live? The West End, and my wife just told me, no you're not! I had no idea why I said the West End. I've never lived in the West End, ever in my entire life, ever. I've never even spent a night in the West End. I said West End, no you're not. And he went, where in the East End you from? And I said Parkhead. He went, that's like the West End in China. And to this day, 15 years later, I still don't know why. And I just think, why did you say West End? I don't know. I genuinely don't know why I said the West End. So that was fairly embarrassing.
That's a good one. Alright, so last thing before we wrap it up and get you out here and your normal day-to-day life as videographer extraordinaire to the world. Give us a shout out, plug all your businesses, plug your podcast, plug everything, let people know why they should hire you, when to hire you, basically sell yourself right now. Go.
So Lee Phillips, my wedding film company is 918 Wedding Films. If you want to know sort of why we're called that, then you have to come to the website and get in touch. 64 Productions for the non-wedding stuff, so your commercial stuff, promotional videos, drone work, music videos, gym videos. 6'4", because I'm 6'4", and it's easy and I don't forget my height. If you search for those two on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, What's the other one? Well, that stopped.
Sorry, keep
That's
going.
all right. And Facebook, but it's terrible. You'll get me on there. Why book me? Because I'm a kilt-wearing Scotsman. I love what I do, and I want you to have the best product possible. And the only way to do that is for us to work together.
And you're the best.
And I'm the best motherfucker here.
May as well shout it out. You are the best. As always, give us a little comment, drop us a follow, drop us a like. All the stuff will be in the description. And as always, remember, you got this.